Hey, ladies and gents, it's Wiz here with a review of the Four Horsemen's Cosmic Legions Kanoxx Vull figure. Here he is in all his glory. And here's the package. Show you a quick look at that. You got the digital rendering in the front. You got the inside insert that you can take out that looks like a Havalkatar cell. Here is the background information on Havalkatar Book 2, Grave Knight, and then there's a cross-sell with all of these really cool Cosmic Legions figures that we've gotten so far. Amazing. And then here's the bio, which I'll read for you quickly. It says, Kanoxx Vull. Located deep within the fifth circle, the Red Spiral is a community of laborers and traders trying to endure the rigors of living at the far edge of the system. These conditions result in a community of rugged and resilient citizens whose work ethic is as solid as their unity. It is for these reasons, along with enhanced strength, resilience, and survival instincts, that members of the Red Spiral are coveted by fight ring promoters across the system. Every time he steps into the grave, Kanoxx Vull's fighting style and jagged, intimidating visage exemplify the traits of his kin. Of considerable and commanding stature, Kanoxx the Stinger was a prized acquisition for the fight ring of Havalkatar. Snatched up while scavenging for food and supplies in his subsector, this silent yet fierce competitor desperately seeks to return to the quiet isolation of his home. For Kanoxx Vull, each win is simply another step on the path to one day escaping Havalkatar and returning to the Spiral. So the Red Spiral that inspired the name of this subsector is a Red Spiral notebook that artist and sculptor Eric Treadaway used to carry around with him and draw in when he was a young kid in the 80s. So that's kind of cool. I've seen the Red Spiral notebook and I've seen some of the drawings in it. And yep, this guy sprang fully formed from the loins of Eric Treadaway's Red Spiral notebook in the 80s, and that is why he has all these really, really cool sort of 80s touches and nods, and makes me feel nostalgic for something that didn't exist in the 80s but very well could have. And it's got the design aesthetic, the asymmetry, the spikes, the cybernetic implants, especially the one eye there, and just how fierce and cool he is, just captures the joy and probably everything that a kid in the 80s loved, about sci-fi, if they followed it. And Eric Treadaway, who knew, but those drawings would inspire action figures in the future, and now he's brought them to life, and now we get to enjoy them. And I gotta say that Kanoxx Vull is super duper cool. He's a large, imposing, towering figure that's taller than a regular figure. So this is a regular like 1.0 sized alien. As you see, he stands a full head and a half taller than that. So this would be the 1.0 size, and this would be the newer scale, which is the brute scale figure, and it really serves him well because, like it says, he towers over the other figures, and this guy, you want him to be an imposing presence. And look at I love the asymmetry, right? I love all the bells and whistles and tubes and all that have gone into it. Tons of new parts. This neck piece right here that's flexible is a very cool addition and smart way to take and sort of muscle up the neck and the torso, and it's got all these neat details in there. I don't know if you can see, but the veins in the neck are popping out, right? All the cybernetics in here, all nice new parts. He's got this big weapon, which is basically a mace. So he's very much a blunt force trauma guy. I'm going to take that out of his hand. Oops. And so I can show you the cybernetics along the side of his head, his eye. Look at that. one red eye, and then one with this ocular implant that's also goes up into the head. Again, all the veins, all the details, the subtlety of this purple paint work, just amazing. Then right here, below his temple where his ear would be, he's got this really cool tube that goes into the back. Who knows what for, but obviously these are enhancements. He's also got a tube here. Actually, I may put a little bit of super glue in there to keep that in, but it's got the big tube that goes into this cylinder in the back, and then goes back into his arm. So I could see his arm being enhanced and like being bionic or something, some sort of pneumatic function or whatever. So very cool. And like I said, that 80s aesthetic. He's got a cloth loin piece here. That's a gray fur, soft gray fur. And then look at all these spikes on his backside. So if he sits down on your recliner or couch, he's going to tear the hell out of it. But who cares, man? It's a small price to pay for looking cool. Then another bit here. I really like the leg, right? There's every little detail is painted, like the little red wiring here, this sort of military olive paint. Really, really looks cool. Different kinds of tubes and pistons in there. And then the leg piece, that makes him really cool. So, you know, I just can't say enough good stuff about this guy. I love everything about it. The paint, I love the sculpt, obviously, and just the whole idea and the whole aesthetic and how it just feels, it hits all the right notes and it feels like it's come straight out of the 80s. Then check out his alternate head, which is a more placid look, where so he's a noble kind of character, but he's ferocious because of the circumstances that he's been cast in. So cool spike at the back of the head. So you figure that these scavengers who live in the, you know, outer ring, out in the red spiral, that they can fight and they're ferocious, but at the same time, you know, they're just hard workers who want to survive and you know, help their families. So here is hopefully you can see the subtleties of the paint here on this weapon, but the mace has sort of a bit of oxidation on it, just a hint of green, and then there's the green on the handle and just the wash, and there's nice touches, and then, you know, scrapes and dents on it, so it looks like it's really seen some action there. That's a very, very cool weapon. He's simple but effective. He's got a couple of other hands here. This is like a looser grasping hand or a gesticulating hand, and then this one is the same for the other side. So he comes with 4 hands, 2 heads, and 1 weapon, and just a thing of beauty and a thing to behold. Count the spikes, right? How cool. How cool is that? The spikes and the asymmetry that were there. And then, you know, it's kind of a little bit of historical nods to Eric Treadaway, the sculptor's career when he worked at McFarlane, right? And they really popularized that aesthetic of the spiky armors and the unsymmetrical, you know, figures. So that's very cool there. I think I'm probably going to go with the gritted teeth version just because the other one's noble and all, but this really inspires fear and is exciting as heck, because like, look at all those rows of teeth that he has, right? And how nicely painted they are, how perfect the whole thing is executed, right? And it's just the profile, the weapon, the size, everything about it is just really, really cool. And like I said, he's not as big as, say, an ogre scale figure, which is, you know, huge and towering, but he's bigger than a 1.0. So kind of that happy medium there in the space. I love variety when it comes to sizes and creatures, and the variety is especially appreciated when it's a sci-fi line with alien features or alien characters that come in all shapes and sizes. So, Kanoxx Vull. I also think the Vull part of the name is a nod to Eric Treadaway's heritage, he's from Tennessee, so they're the Vulls over there. So, Kanoxx Vull. Nice job, home run, knocked it out of the park, and really, really appreciate everything about this character. Really takes me back to the good old days back in the 80s. All right, I can wax poetic for a while, but I'm gonna stop now. Pick this guy up. I think he's a must get because he's very, very different from all the other figures in the line. And man, just take a look at all the different species that we have. Look at Slog, Novian Lean, Umbira Jambira, Rakagor, and how cool is Cosmic Legions as a universe shaping up to be? It's amazing. I love it, and it's also, it's so different from Mythic Legions, but at the same time, it's that same vision that Eric Treadaway has. It's the same sort of highly detailed aesthetic that he gives us, and I love being able to, have my figures engage in adventures through all space and all time. Maybe a Mythic Legions crossover where one of these guys' spaceships crashes and ends up in Mythos. You can do whatever, with sci-fi. The possibilities are endless. All right, so that's enough of my review with Kanoxx Vull. Pick them up and enjoy Cosmic Legions. It's Dwiz, signing out.